What is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 224. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
What's up, people? How's it going? Look at us. We're actually on video.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
And Adam Vale.
Shalom.
All right. Okay, no Brett action tonight. He's got some stuff to deal with. And Brian will be here in an hour because it's daylight savings time. This happens every fucking year. It's hilarious.
I was sleeping.
I was sleeping. It's funnier when he's like late when it's the other daylight savings time. It's like, yo, you should have been here an hour earlier, bro. The fuck? Like, he's late no matter what. But yeah, he'll be here. Watch. I'm telling you, this happens every year. An hour from now, Brian's going to show up. It's going to be funny, man. All right, since Brett isn't here, that means the show's only going to be 30 minutes tonight, so we apologize. Also, yeah, since, as Manny said, back on the videos. Okay, so what was going on the last, I guess, couple episodes was YouTube, or because we use Google Hangouts to, get all the shit together, and I do that through YouTube, and it was giving me YouTube beta instead of the Creator Studio, and they didn't have the option to flip the camera around like this does, so I'm like, I'm not going to be fucking inverted on video, so I shut that off, but Adam was telling me that when they were doing WrestleCast, everything was fine on their end, so I'm like, okay, that must mean there's a way to reverse it. And sure enough, there was. So hopefully, it sucks being at the whim of these services, man. So, but hopefully everything will be all right now. But we'll see what happens. All right, man. Without further ado, let's get into it, man. So first up, Mr. Black Metal Gamer. So his first question is: has there ever been a game that had more content in the Japanese version that made you wish the Western version would or could have had it?
I mean, that kind of happened. That happened a lot back in the day.
Give us some examples.
They always used to cut stuff out of stuff like
sexual stuff. I felt it was a lot of sexual stuff that was cut out of Japanese imports.
I mean, like even situations where they just chop out characters, like Streets of Rage 3 actually had another character beyond the ones that they were in there. It was this kind of gay-looking dude, but apparently he got cut out because of he looked gay or something. So yeah, they cut him out. There's also what was it? There was a game called Brawl Brothers, which you could do a that one you could actually do a code and get the alternate Japanese version. It had an additional character and some extra levels. So it's like, why are you not locking some of this stuff out?
Yeah, for me, a more recent example, even though it's like almost 10 years now, Yakuza 3, when it came to America, they cut a bunch of stuff out because they felt that some of the stuff like games like Mahjong and then some stuff like the Hostess bars wouldn't translate well, so they took that out, but there was complaints about it, so when they brought Yakuza 4 and every other subsequent Yakuza game, it had all that crazy stuff in there, but yeah, for Yakuza 3, they took a lot of that stuff out, and I'm hoping that when they re-release the game, they're going to put all that shit back in there. There's probably other examples, but that's the main one I could think of. Chris, what about you?
I don't really have a good example of this. Like, I know there's stuff I've wanted to come over from Japan, but those are that's like the next question, the whole games. But I can't think of like a game I played in recent memory where it's like, man, they locked that stuff to the Japanese version. I mean, I think Manny's right. Like older games that happened, but not that anything recent I can think of. Like, I played both versions of Demon's Souls, exact same game. Yeah, I can't think of a good example.
Yeah. It's a tough one. Same thing with you, Carlos. You can't think of anything?
Yeah, I think I might be misremembering or something, but I remember there was a whole thing with Dead or Alive where I think that, it got censored in the US release.
Which one? Extreme Volleyball?
I think it was last gen's. Yeah, that one. The volleyball one.
Oh, yeah. That one came out legit because I remember getting it on a 360 and seeing all the extra bouncing, and I was like, oh wow, and yeah, they didn't censor that, but I know people bitched about it.
I thought it was censored.
You could still see the bouncing. There was a lot of the bouncing.
Then never mind.
Yeah, what about you, Adam? Can you think of anything?
From N64, there was a wrestling game. It was still part of the NWO type of series, but they released one similar to that, and it had all the same WCW guys stuff, but they also had all the New Japan and I forgot the other promotion that was around at the time, but they were Japanese promotion wrestlers, and that was cool. And I wanted that version, and I had to order that one, and I had to get a special converter to put on top of my N64 just to play it. So it wasn't so much because that one didn't even show up here. It was more of that was the special version for the Japanese market because of the wrestlers, and I wanted to play as those wrestlers.
All right, cool. Let's see what's going on in the chat right now. Mighty Nerd, thank you for showing up. Reggie, man, don't send me DMs during the show, bro. I can't look at that shit now. I'm busy hosting, man. Let's see. Next up here, okay, another Japanese game type related question here. What Japanese only games would you like to see get translated and released over here?
The Samurai Yakuza game.
There you go.
The one that caused the controversy with the creator of Yakuza. He's like, wait, that game never came out?
Yeah, he was surprised by that. By the way, for you guys who don't know, they were talking to the creator of Yakuza. This was like a month ago, and he was like, "Hey, what do you think about the fact that they didn't bring Yakuza, whatever? I forgot the name of it, but they didn't bring the Yakuza Samurai game." He's like, "Wait, what? They didn't bring it over?" He was surprised, Yeah, that's a good one. I know back in the day there was a lot of RPGs and like beat 'em ups and stuff that never ever came over here. Shoot 'em ups too, Yeah,
there's a lot of I guess Treasure had that one game with that bird looking creature in it. I can't remember the name of it, but that one was like a Genesis game. It only came out in Japan.
What about those games? I think it was like Ipponichi or whatever, like a shoot 'em up, but it's like it had weird gay stuff in it. Like what I'm talking about, those muscle guys.
I mean, one of those came out, which was for Wii, but
one of them came out. Okay,
no.
Yeah. But yeah, most of those didn't come out. Again, there's like a ton of RPGs, but back in the day, I wasn't really into RPGs, so I didn't really keep track of that stuff. But I know a bunch of those. I know there was a bunch of Sega Saturn games that never got released here. Sega Saturn was huge in Japan, completely the opposite of over here, and it was mostly because of those Japanese RPGs that a lot of them didn't even show up here at all. Pretty much Japanese RPGs and a lot of arcade games, I'll go down the line. Chris, you got any examples?
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff that's been rectified recently, but originally I never was able to play Rondo of Blood because I didn't have a TurboGrafx 16 and I import it. Now the first time I could play that game was they put it as an extra on the Dracula X Chronicles that was on PSP.
Nice.
So that was the first time that came over. Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, which you could only play if you got the subsistence version of Metal Gear Solid 3, right?
Yep.
Like that game never came to US at all.
Neither did the original, the MSS version of Metal Gear. 1.
Yeah. So both of those were only available then, but I wanted to play those, and I was like, there's another game before Solid. Like after I played Solid, I was like, there's another game that explains all these people that he's talking about.
I remember reading those things, like reading the little thing. I'm like, wait a minute, this never happened. This is not Snake's Revenge.
Yeah,
because that's all we knew back then. All we knew was like, okay, it was Metal Gear 1, and which was on the NES, and then there was Snake's Revenge. But you read those little dossiers that are, that catch you up on the previous games. It's like, wait a minute, Snake never fought Metal Gear. He fought a giant computer.
And I believe, I don't know, maybe Tony, there was Sega had a game that was very much like Resident Evil. I think it was called Deep Fear.
The only one I remember, and I think Capcom made it for Dreamcast, was a fucking Blue Stinger. But Deep Fear, that sounds vaguely familiar.
I think it was on the Saturn. That's why I was asking you, because I don't know if it came here. But that would have been cool, like to see a Resident Evil competitor. But I don't think it came over here. Yeah,
probably. I got to look into that one. By the way, I just remembered another one. Valkyria Chronicles 3 came out on PSP only in Japan, which really stinks. They have fan translations now, but like officially never came out. So, hopefully they'll do it, because I know they got Valkyria 1 out there, and Valkyria 4 just came out. So hopefully they'll do 2 and 3 for the Switch. Carlos, what about you, man?
So a Japanese game that never got ported over to the US. I'll say Scalebound.
Oh, that never
Hey,
got
that wasn't
made.
ported.
Oh dear.
That never got
Nah,
ported into
That never got
existence.
made.
Yeah, it never got ported into existence.
So there was actually one. There's not that many for me. There's one that I remember that was I don't remember the name. It was like an anime one where it was like all the Shonen Jump characters, and it was like in the 2000s, and it was like a Smash Brothers, but just for Shonen
J-Stars?
Jace. No.
That
Jace
came out.
came out here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, that came out.
No, that was like 2
Okay.
years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. Now this one came out a long time ago.
Hmm.
And it was like a DS game too. And I remember I wanted to play it. Like I saw it on YouTube or something, and I wanted to play it, but it never came out here.
Yeah, thank you, Barry. Choaniki. That's the name of it. Adam, what about you?
There's nothing really. I wasn't really into all of those Japanese games.
I don't play that shit.
Yeah, so there was nothing really that. Besides that, that when this question came up before, I was like, yeah, the only thing I could think of that I ever wanted was that wrestling game that was from Japan. That was it.
Yeah,
Or
Solitary.
Fire Pro Wrestling, because remember that one.
Well, the Fire
Yeah,
Pro
Fire
eventually
Pro,
that came
yeah.
for Dreamcast. I remember that's when I wanted to play it on Dreamcast when they finally did come over.
Yeah, Solitary Zombie says Sweet Home for the NES.
the original.
The
Resident Evil.
predecessor to Resident Evil. Yeah.
Ooh, Mighty Nerd, he goes, what about arcade games that came out over here but never received a console port? That's the flip version of that. That's a good-ass question.
Arcade games.
You know what? That's going to be the next question then. We're gonna answer. From Mighty Nerd asks, what arcade games that came out here but never received a console port that you wanted to play? That's a good question.
Okay. No. There was an Aliens
I
versus
got
Predator beat 'em up that Konami made, I think,
Yeah.
and that game never got a port to anything. It
You,
was just in the arcade.
you want to hear something hilarious about that?
Yeah.
Nika got the rights to that, and they're actually making those figures from that game. So you can get the
with
Ninja Chick.
Arnold with the
Yeah,
the robot arm.
Dutch with the robot arm. Yeah,
Yeah, and the Ninja Chick, who was like, I was like, who's this?
she was a cyborg.
And the
yeah,
two
go ahead.
Predators.
Yeah, I would have answered.
No, I mean that's it.
Yeah, I would have answered with Spider-Man and X-Men, but they came out last gen, which is cool.
Spider-Man, the Sega Spider-Man game.
Yeah, remember when
arcade
Venom
game.
gets all big and stuff? Yeah, like that
Mhm.
came out eventually. But for a while, I wanted to play.
No, it didn't. It never
didn't?
came out, dude.
Really?
No, they never made that game.
Oh wow! So which Spider-Man game am I thinking of?
I don't know. I mean, there were beat 'em ups, but that game never specifically came out on the
The one where with the giant Venom.
Yep.
Yeah, I played that on PS3.
That never came out on PS3.
Yes, it did.
When did that come out?
Yeah. Oh wait. Oh, you're right about that. I was playing that shit on MAME. My bad.
Yo, man.
Oh
That
shit.
game never came out.
X-Men did. Okay, am I tripping? The X-Men came out, right?
X-Men came out on PS3.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it
So
was never. But it was never.
I was playing that shit on
originally
MAME. My bad, people. Okay, so that's my answer. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. The Sega.
Remember,
one.
he used to stick the quarters in. He used to go Spider-Man.
Yeah. That's what, yeah, I was playing that shit like 2 years ago. you know. But that
Yeah,
shit
this is
was-
an easy one for me.
All right, go ahead.
The WrestleFest 1991. That never came to any console. That's still a meme. Remember WrestleFest with the Hulk Hogan and Mr. Perfect and Ted DiBiase and the Legion of Doom? They were all in there. And you would just come down in the little carts and have the big matches. It was one of the 4-player control systems, arcade cabinets. You don't remember that? WrestleFest?
No.
I remember that.
Oh, that was awesome. And I'm like, well, eventually it'll come over. Superstars, which was another arcade game, eventually came over. But nope, no WrestleFest. Never got ported.
Did the Terminator game with Aerosmith ever come out on consoles?
Well, there wasn't a Terminator game with Aerosmith.
Yeah, there was.
No,
It was like Operation Wolf, the shooting?
you're mixing two games together. There
Am
was
I?
Yes, but they both did come out on
Okay.
console. So the Aerosmith game is Revolution X.
Oh,
The Terminator
yeah.
2 game is the other one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they were identical looking.
They were
Yeah.
like the same fucking game. Okay, so both of those came out, right?
Yeah, those both
Okay.
came out.
All right.
Revolution X.
Chris, you got one, or did you go already?
Yeah, I said Aliens versus
Okay.
Predator.
And Carlos, you're too young for arcades, right?
Damn.
I'm too young to remember most of it.
I knew it. All right, moving on here. G Megaforce 123. So, what quote unquote clones do you prefer over the originals? Example, he like Crash Team Racing over Mario Kart. This one's a little tough for me because if I don't like the original game, I'm probably not gonna like the clone. You know.
Let's see.
Like there was a bunch of like Monster Hunter clones. I don't like any of those games. You know.
But you like World now?
I'd like. Well, World is very different than a regular Monster Hunter game. When I tried, Chris, when I tried to play XX, whew, that was brutal. What else? Fucking
I like
PlayStation All Stars. I didn't like because it's Smash Brothers. I don't like Smash Brothers. You know,
Nobody. PlayStation All Stars wasn't that good at all, though.
Trash.
They had a lot of issues.
No, I can't. For me, I can't say if I don't like the original, I'm not gonna like the clone either. You know.
Damn it.
The closest clone I could think of that I love, but not as much as the original thing that's based on was Dead Space. I could say Dead Space a clone of Resident Evil. Just themes change.
But you don't like it more than Resident Evil, though.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. That's the closest I can get. I can think of.
I think an example that maybe me and Tony can use is, and it's not even like we love this game, but like Apex Legends is sort of like a superior version of whatever the hell it's trying to clone.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't even like Apex Legends. You know.
Well, I got one. I guess I could say Call of Duty.
Call of
Because it was
Duty.
a clone of Medal of Honor. And
Yes,
when they
it
left, when they left, they were like, "We can do a better version," and there we go. And then we got Call of Duty.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. All Day Digital, who will be playing The Division with us this week, I hope. He goes, "What about Nick Fury versus the Punisher?"
As the arcade game that never came out. No, it actually did come out on I think on Super Nintendo.
Oh wow. Yeah. What's going on, Glorious War? All right. Anybody else want to jump in on this clones that you like more than the original?
I don't. I mean, I don't know. I can't. For me, I can't really think of any like clone of other games that I kind of enjoyed. I mean, more than the first one. The original game in the franchise type of thing.
Like when we think of Devil May Cry, that's that style. There's Bayonetta, there's Ninja Gaiden, right? Or Gaiden.
Does Bayonetta count as a clone of Devil May Cry?
It
Kind of is.
It kind of is? Okay, so that's my answer because I like Bayonetta way more than Devil May Cry. So there you go. But I guess. I mean, if you guys are okay with it, I guess I'll go with it. Yeah, because I don't consider it a clone, even though it is the same genre. You know what I'm saying? But it's made by the same guys that made Devil May Cry.
Well,
so
I mean,
it's a clone. You know what I mean?
It's a clone, but it's not really a clone at the same time.
Yeah, fuck it, that's my answer. Oh, go ahead.
I finally got one.
Uh-oh.
Uncharted.
Ooh, you like it more than Tomb Raider.
I like the Uncharted series better than Tomb Raider.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
for sure.
That it is.
Fuck. Yeah, I still like Tomb Raider more than Uncharted. I know people are going to go after me.
That's some shots fired right there, man.
Hey, I'm sorry, Laura Croft for life, motherfuckers.
even when it essentially cloned a clone.
Yeah. No, well, don't. No, I still see. No, I like. Okay, I like Uncharted more than the clone Tomb Raider games, but I like old Tomb Raider more than Uncharted. Okay. If that makes sense. Oh man, see, motherfuckers already getting at me in the comments. Hey, you already know, son. But yeah, my answer is Bayonetta. Bayonetta, then.
Yeah, Tomb Raider is way more influential than Uncharted.
Yeah, exactly. That's my reasoning. Yeah.
So, but
even though there are more better Uncharted games, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real. A lot of those like PS1 Tomb Raider games, shit. Like after I can think it was the second one. It was like, But yeah, sorry, man, Laura for life, son. I don't
know. Like for me, like it's hard to like because it's like Tomb Raider is like one of the most influential game series. But
that's what I'm saying.
Uncharted is one of the best franchises.
Yeah, yo, Black Metal Gamer, I'll go over there, slap the shit out of you right now, man. He's saying Tomb Raider is garbage or old Tomb Raider. No, come over there, slap you, man.
Good, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's garbage.
I'll slap Black Metal Gamer with a studded glove. Yeah. All right. Rise of the Tomb Raider. Yeah. Oh yeah, Rise of the Tomb. I know. I like Rise of the Tomb Raider. Even though it's interesting about let's just, since we're on that subject, the last 3 Tomb Raider games, they got progressively worse. Like Tomb Raider 2013, I believe, was fucking amazing. Rise of the Tomb Raider was really good, and then Shadow Tomb Raider, you know. But I'm sorry, Laura for life, man. I'm loyal, man. Fuck that. All right, where the fuck are we right now? Okay, next question. What are the best video game speeches? For example, Dr. Kleiner from Half-Life 2 and Andrew Ryan from BioShock. So what are your favorite video game speeches? And
Andrew Ryan one was fucking good. Oh, what about the BioShock one, the Infinite one, where DeWitt, like, pretty much, I forgot who even said, like, tells them everything.
Grandpa from Mass Effect telling the kid that pissed everybody off. Like, really? This is it? This is the story you're telling me? And people hated that ending. So yeah, let's go with that one.
God, no.
Mass Effect 3.
No, but that's like the worst speech ever.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's memorable though. It's memorable because of that. It pissed people off.
Black Metal Gamer says the poop monster from Conker's Bad Fur Day. Did he have a good speech?
I think he sang an opera. He sang. Like,
yeah,
I don't remember what the words are.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a cheat answer. Anything from that came out of the mouth of Liquid Snake, man. That's my answer. That guy just gave speeches all day, every day, man.
I was the superior one.
Oh, that is a good one. Dutch's speech. He says from Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm gonna go even with Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Redemption. Dutch had gold, man. You know,
there was a lot of good speeches.
Yeah,
and the voice actor is freaking amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, man, and I'm thinking about fucking Arthur Morgan. Like, he says something towards the end. I'm like, oh, this is some deep shit right now, son. But I don't want to spoil it, you know. Yeah, so there's some good stuff out there. Manny, you got anything?
Best speech. Let's see. I want to go with. Geez, there's so many.
Oh, I think All Day just came up with the best one. And Chris, I'm surprised you didn't say this. Castlevania Symphony Night intro speech by Dracula.
What is a man?
What is a man? Yeah, right.
That kills
That's
everything.
memorable. That was memorable because it was corny.
What is a man? I mean, yeah, you could still go with a corny one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the speech Shepard has to give that you control at the end of Mass Effect 2. Before you go collectors. That was a good speech. Like you control it. Like
you can also make a really lousy speech if you want.
You can make a lousy speech, but I got everyone rallied. So
yeah, that was good. By the way, a little off thing. Killer Instinct or Reggie, he's in the chat room proselytizing about Devil May Cry 5. We have no problem with that, bro. We have no problem with that. You go ahead, let the people know how good the game is, man.
Oh, by the way,
Manny, there you go. Complete global saturation.
Complete. Oh yeah, Wesker's thing.
Anything
natural selection.
Yeah, go ahead, Carlos.
So this is a little bit. It's off topic, but just a quick question and answer.
Oh.
I played the first 2 missions of fucking Devil May Cry 5. Was Nero always this much of a douchebag?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't remember him being that much of a douchebag. Maybe it was just me.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
I thought Carlos was gonna be like, "Yo, can I put the speech from Independence Day in here?"
Oh, yeah, that
was
speech,
a great
man.
speech.
Yeah, man. But that's for movies, obviously.
See, was it Caesar? Caesar's speech from Planet of the Apes?
No. Video games.
Oh, you see, you started.
Yeah, see, yeah. I knew Adam was gonna go down there too, man.
You could do it. It didn't mean you should do it.
Yeah, that is true. Was Salazar the Spaniard midget from Resident Evil 4 has some good speeches?
Salazar. I guess the speech at that end of Peace Walker, the kind of like, I guess, additional speech that Snake does about him moving away from the government and making a world for soldiers who have purpose and stuff like that. It's a pretty decent speech there.
Yeah, isn't that the one where he was talking about how the boss put down her arms, but he's not able to do that? Something like that. Yeah, that was a good speech. Great game too, man. All right. Anybody else? All right. I think we're done here. So let's move on to Mr. Axel Wolf.
Wait. One Cyborg Ninja.
Hold up.
The Cyborg Ninja. He's like, it is the essence of all combat. Only a fool trusts his life to a weapon.
Yes. MGS2 junk information speech. Yeah. At the end, man, that shit gets trippy.
Yeah. Oh, there was epic speeches all at the end of this. Solidus talking to Raiden before they fight. Like that was epic. Like
Metal Gear Solid really in general. Yeah. The whole series. There you go.
It doesn't stand for Solid Snake Simulation. It stands for.
Oh man! All right, let's move on here. Axel Wolf. He goes. A few weeks ago, you guys discussed how to evolve multiplayer games, and it got me thinking. Did you guys ever see Ready Player One? What if a company or companies decided to do a shared world where all your progression, cosmetics, and currency went to the same place? You could have a character you deck out with things you got from all different types of games that you use in the games. Just wondering what you guys thought about that. That's pretty interesting. It's like a mega fucking world or something.
Yeah, well, it was like Second Life, but to the next level. You know, where you could actually do everything. I mean, think about it. In a way, we could do that now. Because they were like, oh, they're going to school. They do that system. Well, you can go to school online.
Wasn't Home supposed to do something similar to that?
Yeah, you could do all of this. So it was great, though. Did everyone here see Ready Player One or read the book?
No, but I know about it.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's on the Happy Place. Check it out. It's great. it's a great film. They did a great job with it.
But it's with this. I don't think I would like that. It's kind of stupid. Like, okay, so you tell me I could bring like a sword from one game into a shooting game from another. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
No, it has like a continuous progress, or it's like the things that you've earned in another game you can actually bring into some other game.
Yeah. It's all
that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, I earned a sword in a hack and slash game, so I could bring that over to the first person shooting game.
But you like that, like in Monster Hunter, where you can get certain items now from Horizon Zero Dawn, and you can get Devil May Cry, the Street Fighter.
But they all kind of gel together. I'm just asking a question. How would that work? Like, you bring a weapon from a melee game over into a shooting game. How does that work? That's where that's where this.
Well, I would think there's certain rules in certain areas that wasn't explained fully within the story. There's certain things you could bring and some things you couldn't. But there's certain games they went into. They didn't go into a fighting game.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking about the legality of some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. What do you guys say? You know, my imagination doesn't like the wall. Like I'm hitting a wall. Imagination wise, I'm like, I don't know how this works. I'm guessing I'm not alone.
I don't know how you do cross genre, because like if you're in a racing game, right? You just drive into like Call of Duty. What good are you?
Yeah,
you get your ass killed, man. Like you got no guns.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, it's like how you get a platform with a car. You know?
Oh yeah, right. You're dead. So I don't get it. The shooting guy might have a chance in another game. It's like, well, I got to jump, but at least I got a gun.
Yeah, like maybe you have to like partition it for like shooting games, racing games. Yeah, I don't know. I think this question is like above our pay grade. You know, if we could crack this, we'd be millionaires. But it's a good question. This is one of those questions Brett should be here for, because he has those crazy, wild ideas. You know,
and he's the VR guy.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, moving on here. More ham. I like that name. It makes me hungry.
I'm hungry.
How do you feel? Oh, man, let's talk about this, son. How do you feel about the DMC5 censorship and Sony's censorship policies moving forward? All right, so you guys didn't know, this story came out yesterday. Basically, the North American version of Devil May Cry for the PS4 is censored compared to the Xbox One and PC and even the Japanese version of the game. It's this one scene where I believe it's Dante or Nero, one of those two. They pick up Trish. You know, she just got like, you know, she needed a rescue and she's completely naked. And you see some of her butt cheeks and stuff. So in every version, including the Xbox One version, you know, you see it all, right? But it's not like garish or anything. It's just, you know, you see she's naked. You're going to see something. But in the PlayStation One, this like bright light just comes to cover it up. So how do you guys feel about that?
I don't know. Like Sony's getting pretty draconian with the censorship, so
I find it funny where that they do something like that, but yet in the game that just came out recently, most recent Assassin's Creed game, literally you have like full frontal nudity, statues with their dicks and boobs out. So I'm like, what's what's going on here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, my thing is I don't understand. Okay, so think about it. It's not okay. I could understand it if every version of the game was like this, right? No, it's specifically the North American PS4 version. In Japan, the PS4 version is perfectly fine. Xbox
well,
is
like
fine.
this-
PC's
yeah.
fine. Yeah.
See, that's my problem. It's like, okay, so the censorship wasn't really for us because Xbox, you can see it all. So what the hell was the point? To
Yeah.
add in a lens flare, oh, we got to cover it up. Why?
Yeah.
That's the problem that Japanese publishers having with other games, like the dating sims and stuff, or the like. Did they do something to Dead or Alive 6 with that or no?
I'm not sure. I think I heard something, but I don't want to say yes or no on that because I don't know for sure.
But I know there was a couple other games. Sengen Kagura, right? The next
yeah.
one is going to have censorship because Sony came down on them, but they seem to be only coming down, like Manny said, on Japanese publishers, but not on American one. Ubisoft could put TNA and Assassin's Creed. They don't have a problem.
Yeah, and I highly doubt Cyberpunk is going to get censored. I highly doubt that, you know. Glorious War says that our Live 6 is fine. Here's, again, I have two theories here. One, because I don't believe Sony told Capcom to do this. I think Capcom did it of their own volition. They were like, okay, Sony has this new policy now. We're going to sidestep it and just blur it out. Or they were like, we don't want to hear any shit from these American journalists, so we're going to put that in there. But that there's some flaws in that line of thinking, right? Like, if that's the case, why not do it with the Xbox version? Why not do it with the PC version? So my only conclusion is Capcom just didn't, you know, they didn't want to mess. They were afraid that Sony may say something, even though I believe if they had left this alone, Sony would not have said anything. I think it's just Capcom jumped the gun, you know, because
I agree. I
yeah.
definitely think it was something like that.
Yeah, I don't think Sony mandated, because if that's the case, how come it's not like that in Japan? I think Capcom was just afraid Sony may say something, so they jumped the gun. Even though, again, I believe they probably would not have jumped the gun because it's not a sexual thing or anything. By the way, just what I tell you guys 1 hour later, they're Brian. Thanks to daylight savings time, I fucking knew it every year.
Damn farmers.
How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing better now. You know, I managed to watch me some good films after watching Captain Marvel, so I'm doing a lot better.
Oh,
now.
you see?
Yeah. Now we're gonna do the spoiler cast, man. Anyway, Brian, what's your whole take on the Devil May Cry 5 censorship situation? I'm assuming you are caught up on it, right?
I'm not surprised. That's all I gotta say. I'm really not surprised. I mean, I've been seeing this happen with lots of other games, particularly the 7-round Kagura games, and now so it's like, okay, so it's only made sense that they would do this. Again, I've said before, I don't know why Sony are doing this. It's an M-rated game. Console itself has like security protocols to like stop this from happening, but yet they still feel the need to censor it. So,
Brian, I want your take on my theory. I don't think Sony did this. You know why? Because in Japan, you know, the game is fine. The Japanese PS4 version, there's no censorship. I think Capcom feared Sony may say something, so they took it out. That's my theory. What do you think about that?
I don't know. It just again, like, why just the American PS4 version? That's
Yes.
it. That's the only thing that makes sense. Like, why
yeah.
only that version and not the Xbox or the PC version?
Or the Japanese version of the game on PS4. It's so weird. So the only thing I could think of was like, so Capcom was like, Sony of America may say something, just blur it out, you know. And I still honestly believe Sony would not have cut it out because it's not even sexual or nothing, you know. But it's really fucking weird, you know. And unlike some other people, by the way, I need to call out the ponies right now because they're on defense force. I don't need this in my game anyway. It's like, bro, really? If this was on Xbox, you guys would be making fun of this shit. You know, come on now. You know, but it's stupid. And the thing is, it's an M-rated game. Why are you censoring an M-rated game? It doesn't make any sense. It's, again, nothing gratuitous. You have this violent-ass game. Characters curse every minute. Fine. An ass cheek, that's too much. What? It's weird, you know.
What if the person just wearing thong, 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 thong?
No,
That
she was
shows an ass cheek.
she was ass naked. She was ass naked, you know. She was inside a fucking demon. She was ass naked. Maybe she should have been covered. Yeah.
Out of context, it's like, yeah, she was in a demon.
Yeah, you know. Anyway, anybody else want to jump in on this? What are your thoughts?
If they're going this far with this, I just can't imagine when something really serious pops up. This is very minor. If it's just an
Oh yeah, it doesn't affect the game, you know. It's nothing like that. It's nothing crazy. It doesn't affect the story, you know. But it is kind of interesting that basically 3 versions of this game fine, yet one specific version is censored. Very weird, you know.
Is Devil May Cry 5 a rated mature game?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Then why the fuck are they censoring it?
Exactly.
Like, it makes there's a fucking rating system for a reason, but just lower it down to PG. I don't know what
T is the next one. Yeah.
To a teen if you're gonna do that. Like, what?
I
Why
think-
the hell hold back?
Yeah.
I think maybe there's something, maybe with nudity, it throws it into a different category out of mature. Mature usually is like
No,
violent.
if it was
There
full,
is
if it was full on,
usually-
yeah, if it was full on sex, it'd be adults only. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this isn't like, remember Ballad of Gay Tony? They had a
Yeah.
motherfucker's dick flopping around.
Yeah.
That was
Well, maybe
fine,
they just
you
didn't
know?
want to deal with the issues. Maybe they were afraid.
That's what
That's what we think,
like.
yeah.
It seems like that Capcom just doesn't want to deal with anything with having to do with Sony on it, so they specifically censored that version of it, thinking it was there. But I was like, it's just a butt, you know.
It is
Like,
exactly. It's just a butt.
Yeah,
you
we're-
know?
It's just a butt. Come on.
Yeah, people are getting silly now.
Yeah,
Sony,
it is what it
Glorious
is.
Word says, I think it got to do with Sony certification in the West covering the Middle East, which this type of content is not okay. Maybe, I don't know. That's an interesting theory.
But here's the thing: if it is covering the Middle East, right, then the Middle East should have their own version of the game.
Yeah, that's also
So
true.
Let's just see how
they
it
are
works.
their own region.
Yeah.
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 In Germany,
exactly.
they don't get blood, at least not red blood in their
Yeah,
games.
they
It's
can-
green.
Yeah, they can do it by country. So, and Australia is weird about
Australia's got all kinds of weird restrictions.
Oh, yeah.
with violence like restrictions. So that shouldn't affect us.
Yeah, it's really weird, man. I really want to. We're probably not, but I would like to hear an official statement on this because it's really, really odd. And apparently, this was patched into the game. It was like if you play the game without the patch, it's fine, which is like really weird. You know, there's just layers to this shit, bro. All right, man. Let's move on here. Johnny W. Uppercut. Which character from a game world you like to have more? Okay, what character from a game world would you like to see more character development? My answer is Prince of Persia from Prince of Persia. It would be cool to see him as the King of Persia. So yeah, what character from any game, do you feel should get more character development? He also used God of War as an example of, why people like the game, because Kratos actually got character development, even though he had character development already, man. Just had to throw that out there.
I feel like he stopped getting character development when God of War 2 happened.
Yeah, he had character
And he
development.
became the angry man.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
became angry man. Yeah, you're right about that. So yeah, what characters do you want to see get character development?
That's a good one. It is a good one. I don't know. In my head, I just keep seeing a picture of Cole from Infamous.
All right, there you go.
I feel like his story isn't done. There's so much more they can do, and I just assumed that the last one we saw was a filler, and that we were going to see another Infamous with Cole, and we never did.
Well, he died.
I know, but I figured they would do like something else with it. I don't know.
The character develop their fucking.
Do like a time warp or something. I don't know. They come up with something.
Well,
Right.
the first game had time travel, so
Yeah, it's got to be some way.
Gotta be
They
something.
gotta have something.
Gotta have something. I got one, Adam. You just inspired this. Coltrane. I want to see him get more character development, man.
Oh yeah, he got a little bit when they showed him playing his football career when they did
Yeah.
a little back thing. on him.
Coltrane. Or any other characters from Streets of Rage. That'd be fun. All right.
Or any of the characters in Crackdown 3. Some backstory how they
Ooh.
ended up there.
Yeah, right. That'd be nice.
you know an interesting one I wanted. I wanted a Liquid Snake game.
Ooh,
because
that'd
at
be
some
interesting.
Point, he was doing what Solid Snake was doing. He was doing infiltration missions. Whatever. He was a good guy. So at some point he went Nah, fuck this. I'm a clone of Big Boss. Fuck the man. I'm gonna steal some nukes. Go to this, like, he goes off the rails, But at one point, he was actually a good guy. So I'd like to see that kind of fall for him, because we see Big Boss's story and we see Snake's story, but we don't. He's just bad, right? We
Yeah.
don't really know much about him. And then in 5, they were trying to add something there, and it got cut off because he and the other kids leave with Philanthropist, and you never see them again, and that story gets unresolved. So I
All
would
right,
have liked a game for him.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Manny, what about you?
Additional development. Actually, Chico from Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker / Ground Zeroes. I mean, he kind of gets killed off, and then nothing happens. Nobody even mourned his death in Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. It's all about Paz. She gets a little hefty. She gets a hefty. She gets like 2 big. Character development moments. Like, he kind of is like, yeah, he died.
Yeah, I want to see him go back to Isla de Monstro.
Yeah,
Fight
some monster hunters.
Right. Carlos, what about you?
Pretty much any character that doesn't have any character development, like Mario or the characters in Monster Hunter, like Monster Hunter Worlds, like those characters. There's no characters to like. They're just fucking canvases of fucking human beings.
Nergigante.
They're all just exposition plots, but no real characters. So it'd be pretty interesting if Monster Hunter World, because Monster Hunter World does a lot of things that's right, and it's pretty fun. But like, I could just imagine if they put more emphasis on characters and story, like it would be an even more epic game.
Nice. All right, Brian, what about you?
I got nothing. I don't think of anything.
Interesting. Well, you don't really care about story that much, do you, in games?
I do, but I'm just trying to think of which characters have like better character development. I'm like, to be honest, I don't.
Well, say any of the characters from Last of Us. You didn't like that game.
No, they had character development. I like Tess. I thought she had good enough character development. Like, no, I genuinely can't think of anyone. Again, you guys have mentioned Kratos, which was the one that I was going to talk about.
Yeah, Kratos is a good one.
Like, God of War 3 was just him just being mad for like 8 hours. So,
yeah.
No,
Again, the whole thing with Kratos is frustrating because he had character development in the first game. Then in the second one, he became Angry Man for like the next 5 games.
Well, because the first game was like him trying to like become the God of War, and then he just became the God of War, and like he just became a fucking caricature of his old character.
Yeah, exactly. Hence why I'm not the biggest fan of God of War 2. I'm like, he's just a stereotype, man. By the way, just from the comments here, GZDR says, I would like to see Captain Commando become Major Commando. Okay. And Glorious War says, Ishmael from The Last of Us. Who was Ishmael again? Isn't he the motherfucker that fought a whale? I'm thinking about Moby
Was
Dick.
that the story? Wasn't no, that was the notes that you find. Right, if I remember right, there's all these little notes that you find about Ishmael, and he was going through some stuff, and the only way you know his story is because of the notes that you find.
I probably didn't find those fucking notes.
So it's as if like, what did he do? Make a game about him.
By the way, Glorious War, that is true. Kratos did have character development in the PSP games. That is actually very true. Captain Ahab. I want to see him get character development. I want Moby Dick to get character development, man. I want Moby Dick to get a game. That'd be crazy.
There's a shark game that's out where you play as a shark and you gotta eat people. So.
There you go. I want to be Moby Dick, and I just want to like just haunt this motherfucker.
But you hate whales.
No, I don't hate whales. They scare me. There's a difference.
Okay.
I have no problem. Whales are cool, man. They're fucking big animals. I like that, but they scare the fuck out of me. In the water, if they were flying around, I'd be perfectly fine. Which is weird.
Scarier.
No, man, because I could see them. Like,
and then they fall on you.
Hey, if you gotta go, you gotta go, man.
Grand Theft 4 5, there was a hack you can make whales fall from the sky.
I've seen that. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Fucking these hackers. He said, like Black American goes, haha. He said, dick. Yeah. What the fuck are we right now? Annihilator. Is there anything in gaming that would make you leave gaming? I would consider leaving if every game became games as a service. That's a good question, man. Like, what's the one thing that made you go, that's it, I'm done with gaming, no more of this?
Oh, that's simple. If they took away controllers, if they made everything touch.
Oh, everything mobile? Yeah.
Yeah, if they was like,
that's
hey,
cool.
everything's gonna be touch. Oh, we got another controller coming, but really, it's just a touch-screen that you hold in your hand. No thanks.
I thought you were gonna say
I need
That's a
I need-
good fucking answer, Adam. Fuck.
That's it.
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
go
what if you're like we were talking about Ready Player One? What about that? What if every game is like Ready Player One? Would you quit gaming because that doesn't have to use a controller?
No, but it makes you feel like you have a controller. So then
But you
when
don't
you're
have-
moving your hands around and stuff, you're actually doing it as opposed to like a touchscreen where you're swiping and being sensitive. You
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
have to be sensitive.
Both touch controls and that virtual reality thing, both are trying to imitate what controllers do. Just one does it better, but still, the case is that both are not controllers.
No, and it would have to be up to par with the way they did in Ready Player One. It can't be what we have now with our VR system and the controls. Can't be that. But
Yeah, I would stop playing games if Sega ever stopped making hardware. That's old school Tony. No, here's the thing. I wouldn't here because I've thought about this a lot. I remember saying like 10 years ago, I'm like, yo, if every game becomes an open world online shooter, I'm fucking done, right? But now my answer is basically if it gets to a point where everything, the games as a service or touch, I wouldn't stop gaming. I would just stop playing new games. Like, hey, there's plenty of old shit I haven't even touched yet. So I wouldn't stop gaming. I would just stop playing new games. But yeah, the thing that would make me stop is like if every game is an online competitive game. I'm like, all right, done with this shit. I'm going back to the old school. All right, yeah, go ahead.
I'm with Black Metal Gamer if there's no more single player games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's when I would stop playing new games. I'm like, I'm done, son.
Because like if you think about it, like either you're obsessed with like multiplayer games and you go from one to the other. Like for me, what keeps me going from one game to the other is like those unique stories and unique experiences that come within single player games. I like to play multiplayer games, but they're more like sort of like either they're great but most of them aren't, or they're just like stuff that you do to play with other people. Yeah, like I'm like with Tony, I would go back like just beat all the games that I didn't beat before, and then after that I'll probably just stop playing.
Yeah, right. Take up knitting or something,
Yeah, go watch anime.
Yeah, right there. There you go, Carlos. That would be the first thing I do. Go watch every anime I wanted to see. But I'm going to do that. But
Hunter, man.
But the thing is, I would go back to all the old school stuff I still haven't even seen yet. Like I'll do that shit in chronological order, son.
Because if you think about it, like gaming is getting in the way of a lot of our other hobbies. So it's like, hey, it sucks, but it's kind of a blessing in disguise in other ways.
Yeah, right. Glorious War says, what the fuck did he say? If every game was multiplayer or free to play, yeah, that'd be bad. If GCDR says if they force us to buy every game digitally using a credit card only, damn.
Wow. Yeah, that's you're gonna be in it for a reckoning in the next gen.
I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be interesting, right? Manny, what would make you? You're not gonna stop gaming. What would make you stop playing new games?
I mean, pretty much all of what was mentioned. Like changing around the controllers, or old games being kind of these sorts of multiplayer experiences. But yeah, that would probably stop me from at least playing new games. But yeah, I mean, I got so many old games I could play. I wouldn't have a shortage of things, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Brian.
I do have one answer, but I guess my actual answer is if every game was a literal walking simulator.
Oh God.
Where there is no run. It's just you walk as someone exposits dialogue to you for like 8 hours, and then that's the whole game. I think that's like my limit.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm just thinking about Firewatch right now. Oof. Chris, did you go?
No, not
Go ahead.
yet.
Yeah,
I
go
would
ahead, man.
say my answer is if I'll just say it like this. If every game storytelling ended up like the current state of Marvel Comics, I would stop
Oh
playing
shit.
games.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Ugh. All right. Adam, what about you?
Well, with the
Like,
the controller.
Yeah, the controller. Yeah, that's the best fucking answer too,
Yeah,
man.
it's the controller because that's key. Like I was just thinking about it now to add on to that for the questions. We know we're getting new consoles, and usually with new consoles, we get new features on a controller. What do you think they could add for the next gen?
They
for
need to stop, man. The controllers are perfect already.
I was going to say that too, but I was thinking, what if they make them like the Pro controller?
Oh yeah, my bad. Paddles, you gotta have paddles in the back now.
What if
gotta have them?
What's in store? Because that's the only thing I could think of that people are familiar with. That they'll be like, "Hey,
programmable controllers." Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yep.
You know, also, off topic. And this is, inspired by Devil May Cry 5. Can we please stop having games with locked controls? Like, I want to be able to customize everything. I love that shit. No, Brian does not like. Actually, Brian, you like some Quantum Dream games, don't you? Quantic Dreams.
Oh, I've never played one as far as I remember.
He goes, don't play Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Yeah, don't play that, Brian.
Oh man,
it's
an easy clap, but it sucks.
Barry Burns says Smash TV MMO VR would make your underwear stop being clean. And he says about walking simulators, Black Metal says that's going to be art in 2050 in all painting galleries. Yeah, you just walk through these famous paintings. That'd be interesting. All right, what the fuck are we? Okay, again, you know who this guy is. I don't even know what his original name is anywhere, but his new name this week is Jesse Smollett and the Liars Band.
Oh shit,
band. Oh, okay. So his first question is, okay, it's throwdown time. Uh-oh. What game is the most trash? Fallout 76 or Anthem? Let's pinpoint each game's flaws and bad news. Damn.
I mean, here's the thing. Like,
I wish Red was here, son.
Can we actually say which one is trash when we pretty much most of us never played these things?
We only played the demo, and
we only played the demo. Here's the thing: we did already talk about this on Thursday, where we were because I basically said they kind of even each other out. Like on the one hand, Fallout 76 had all that bad baggage, like not only with the game itself, but around it with the tote bags or whatever. But at least it didn't crash your system like Anthem, So to me, they kind of even each other up. But so I'm gonna give the diplomatic answer. They're both equally trash. There you go. You both suck.
I'm with Manny in this one. I don't really have an opinion on either. So it's like, I'll let the audience decide because, yeah, both of the games, like Tony said, they have a stink on them, and it's hard not to smell it from over here, even though we're not in the same room. But
yeah, oh man, we're already getting some interesting answers in the chat. Violence and Empathy, he goes, I played both. Overall, I would say Anthem because it fucked with my hardware. Yeah, he's been having some issues, boy.
Ooh, shit.
Glorious War says 76 is worse. They're both either way. They're both bad. They're both bad.
Well, one of them is bad and just made a lot of money, still being bad, which is Anthem. Isn't it like going to be on the top of the MPDs?
Probably.
They said something like that. It's a lot of people bought it. Might be bad, but it made money. Fallout was bad and didn't make any money.
Man, we don't know how much Fallout made, did it?
It never made it to the top, that's for sure, because it went on sale like the week after that.
Shit, yeah. Fallout 76 tarnished the Fallout franchise, Glorious War says.
Right. You know why? I can't say because it's not part of the series. It's not Fallout 5.
If it was Fallout
go ahead,
5,
Chris.
I think it would be more damaging.
Yeah.
If they said, "Oh, this was Fallout 5." Like, really? Yeah, then that would be bad.
I was just doing the face because I'm like, wasn't this series already tarnished? It's fucking bullshit. Anyway, go ahead.
If this was Fallout 5, it would have been even more detrimental than Mass Effect Andromeda was for the Mass Effect.
Oh, shit.
I'm not going to disagree with that one, bro. That's spot on.
So they were smart to name it something other than Fallout 5.
Violence and Empathy says Anthem will be the worst one if it ends up killing BioWare. Man. Yeah, but I think objectively speaking, we actually can't give our answer because none of us have played. But Brett could give his answer. He's played both.
We don't want to be those people because play people are like, yeah, this you play it. No, but
the shit I saw. So we're having fun here, obviously, but objectively, we can't actually answer this. But both games did not do as well as, or were perceived as well as they, the companies hoped they would have been. I think we could say that fairly, Oh, man. All right, where the fuck are we right now? Okay, Adam, this is for you. But
shit, here we go.
But for whoever is interested in this, if the WWE license was up for grabs, what developer would you like to see make great wrestling games?
It's just tough. I think about this at least 4 times a day. Because there is no competitor that has a grapple system like that. EA, the UFC games are horrible when you get on the ground. The grapple system is horrible. So you need to come up with a new engine. So the question is, who could come up with a new engine? Oh, man. See, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm always thinking
hold on, you think about this shit and you don't know the answer?
I think because there's no publisher out right now that has anything close to that. There's nothing like that. I mean, no, I no, there's really nothing. Every time I think about when you think about sports, we got 2K, which is already out there, and they're screwing everything up. And it's not even them. They're publishing the 2K WWE games. It's Ukes that's still doing it. Oh man, I don't know. Nope. Sorry. There is nobody. Basically, it would be whichever studio is willing to invest money in developing a new engine. Because that's the thing. The Ukes said, hey, we're working on a new engine. Don't worry about it. It's coming. They said they're like 2 games back, and it hasn't happened. So don't know. But it really comes down to that. It has to come down to a studio or a developer or a publisher that says, hey, we're willing to invest in this. Maybe Ubisoft, they have tons and tons of developers and talent, and maybe they could put in the time to invest and develop a new engine. But the problem with that is once you do, you're pretty much hoping that you get WWE. Because if not, then what? You're going to go Backyard. You're going to go one of the independents or New Japan. Some of them are big promotions, but they're not WWE big. They're not global. So then your sales aren't going to be there. So you're going to put in all this money to create this new engine for what? So you really have to hope that you have something to show off to WWE to say, hey, your contract over there at 2K is ending with Ukes. Hey, come to us. Look, this is what we're working on. We haven't seen that yet. So that's why it's a monopoly that they have when it comes to wrestling games.
All right, hold on. I just want to read some of the stuff Black Metal Gamer saying. He goes, give it to the Sega Yakuza team. They do have a good fighting system in there.
They do. It's the grappling, though. That's the thing. Fighting is fun. We could talk all day about all kinds of studios that are great at fighting. It's the grappling that gets tricky because you want to do the chain combinations and you want to do the groundwork and transitions. That's where it gets complicated. That collision system. So
yeah. What about Mandy? What about you? You play the wrestling games.
I mean, I never liked the Ukes engine, the one for SmackDown. I've always been. Is that the one? Which one?
It's still the same one. The Ukes is still doing the SmackDown now.
I never liked that engine in the SmackDown. It was all about that other one, the grapple system they used in No Mercy in those games.
Yeah, and
that was the one that was the real good one.
Yeah, and then they're still around. They just don't make wrestling games for some reason. They make all these other games. It's like it's weird.
Yeah, if that company can come back and do those things again, I want to see them come back and do it. Again, it's like I understand why they kind of went with the Ukes engine, where it was like because you could kind of make those kind of fun cinematic looking moves and stuff. But it never ran right. Yeah. It was always like stiff. It never felt right.
Till this day, it's still the mechanics aren't running correctly. We still have issues in. I pick up a weapon, I'm swinging, and he's not pointing in the direction of the opponent. He's just randomly hitting the fence. I'm like, what is going on? It's pointing to. It says when you click on the stump stick, it says, let's say Undertaker. It says I'm pointing and I'm looking at the Undertaker, but I'm not. I'm hitting the fence. It thinks the fence is the Undertaker, and this was like 2 days ago. So,
by the way, Manny,
Still
that
have
is
no
an
idea.
answer that you gave. Give it to the guys who made that other wrestling game you like.
Yeah.
That's an answer.
yeah. I was gonna
I
say,
mean, I would, but
they're
yeah,
gone.
not those guys. Not I just never liked the SmackDown company. I bought a couple of those games, but I just never cared for their system.
Is Black Metal in the chat?
Black Metal, yeah, he's in there.
He's in there. All right, stick around, Black Metal. At the end, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So let's keep going.
Does anybody else have? I don't care about fucking wrestling games. I don't care. Anybody else? Yeah, it's just you two. All right. Oh, by the way, Black Metal Gamer, what else is he saying? He's got a lot to say tonight. Too bad Def Jam Vendetta developers aren't around. They'd be great.
That was
That's
it.
the same
That was
company.
That's the same company.
Okay.
They didn't do Icons. They did the Vendetta and they did Fight for New York. It was the same.
Yeah. GZDR says reboot Acclaim and give it to them.
Oh God, those games are shit.
I had a buddy who
Reboot
worked at that
Acclaim.
one in Long Island when they shut down. All those games are bad. All those ECW games are horrible. Oh,
Yeah,
All right, man.
lousy
Yeah.
Acclaim game.
oh man.
Let's move on, man. Glorious War. All right, he's trying to get us in trouble with this first question, so let's answer, carefully. He goes, how do you feel about fake praise and fake criticism? I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone when a movie like Captain Marvel gets 8 or 9s out of 10, or when people criticize a character for being a white male, like in Days Gone. We're going to keep this to gaming, obviously. But by the way, that thing, that was IGN. They criticized Days Gone because I have a white male protagonist.
What would they want it?
It's so weird. It's so weird because it's like, that and what I mean in a bunch of other games. Why didn't you start complaining about that in the last Resident Evil game or the last Assassin's Creed game? It sounds like they're just trying to bait people to get to click onto their articles.
Yeah. So what do you think about that sort of stuff? The fake outrage, I guess, quote unquote, fake outrage.
I don't know. I mean, because here's the thing. I do think that there are genuinely people that do enjoy these sorts of things. I don't think in a lot of senses it is fakes. I do think it's overly exaggerated. I think people see it as when these sorts of things, the things that they enjoy start to get some flack, then they start to chest thump and go even harder. You know what I mean? Like, in other words, it just becomes like, oh, but this is, it's like, they hear all this stuff out there and they're like, no, this is the most amazing thing ever made. And you are stupid. In other words, like essentially fighting back, even if they didn't probably have that much of an incredibly strong stance on it. They're doubling down, it seems like, because it's something that they enjoy that's getting, as they perceive as attacked.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get to it, but it's really annoying both ways. I've gotten to the point where I don't talk about certain things, whether I like it or dislike it, because I don't want flack. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just say, for example, I really like something. I literally have to go, shit, is it okay for me to talk about that? Because I'm going to get all these haters coming at me. And then the reverse, I'm like, can I criticize this because I'm going to get a bunch of haters? So it's stifling fucking speech. That's what's going on now. It's like, and like you said, man, it's like people are blowing some of this stuff out of proportion both ways. It's like, listen, people are allowed to not like things. People are allowed to like things.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, if people, I'm sure there are people that quite enjoyed that last Ghostbusters film, right? But I do feel like that a lot of times when somebody feels that the thing that they enjoy is getting bashed, they double down and they start to yell back. And I feel like that's not the way to do this sort of thing. We can all again, like how many times have we, us on the show just said, okay, what's the thing that we like? And it's just the worst thing ever, but we know it's bad, but we still like it anyway. Yeah. And it can't just be that way. You can't just like a bad movie or a movie that people that don't be, there are people, they're like, for instance, like, Chris likes The Last Action Hero. I do not like The Last Action Hero. I think it's a horrible film. But the thing is that he enjoys it, and I feel like I'm not gonna go. Chris is not gonna lose any points for being a friend or anything, like, just because he likes a movie that I don't like. And I feel like a lot of that sort of posturing happens all over the friggin' internet, and I think it's kind of dumb.
Yeah, we know people that like Wild Wild West for some inexplicable reason. We're not going to give them shit about it.
Exactly. You're gonna give a shit over. We're gonna be like, yo, really?
Just delete them from our phone. That's all.
Yeah. Like,
Black
yo,
hole.
I mean, the thing is that, some people think that Wild Wild West was an amazing film. All right, but
Hey, some people like Batman Forever, you know?
people like Batman Forever.
Oh, that was so good. I tried to rewatch that with my kids, and I'm like, oh, we can't watch this.
Oh, God. But yeah, people need to tone the fucking down, man, both ways. Like, come on, guys.
Everybody
Bring down the temperature. It's getting a little too hot here,
It's
man.
almost like I feel like a lot of times what's happening with people where it's like everybody's acting like their mom is being cursed out and they have to fight back over something. Really, you don't need to. It's not somebody personal. It's not. I mean, these companies are not giving you any money for chest thumping and defending them. All they want is your money. So literally, just put it into a mental context that this is just a piece of entertainment, or this is just a game, and that's it. You love it or you hate it, and that's it.
By the way, we're gonna have to have an intervention with some of the guys in the chat. You guys actually like Wild Wild West? Come on, guys.
Oh.
Come on.
But this is the point. This is the point we're talking about. You guys are not getting up in arms because we don't like the movie, and we're not getting crazy because you do like the movie. Why can't we get more of that? There's some movies out now that I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna say it. I don't like The Last Jedi. I thought it was a horrible movie. I will not say that on Twitter because I know what's gonna happen. Conversely, I really like Battle Angel. I'm not gonna say that on Twitter because I know what's gonna happen. It's
funny
so
too.
weird.
It's funny because then I said the same thing with The Last Jedi, but I like the Star Wars series. I like it, and people are like, oh, why do you hate Star Wars? I never said that.
Like,
I don't hate Star Wars. I just wasn't fond of that movie. I still haven't seen Solo, and I have it, and I'm like, I'm scared to watch it because I'm feeling I'm not gonna like it.
I think with the idea with the Solo movie, it's almost like it just didn't need to be made. It's not. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is, and I don't think it's as good as people are saying it is.
Manny, would you say that Solo is the God of War ascension of the Star Wars franchise?
Yeah, pretty much. It was like it's like, yo, we didn't need that one. I was just as fine with God of War. What was it, God of War 3, and the ending that happened. So
yeah. Anyway, I think we covered that question well without in fear of going too, this turning into one of the Throwdown after shows. So we're going to stop right now and move on to the next one. All right. Actually, last question of the night, unless you guys have any more questions.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Hey, no Brett tonight. You know how it is, man. We fly through these questions. Fucking Brett. You know, and him.
We need to somehow channel Brett's ghost, or he has to ask
Ghost alive.
or he needs to astral project himself like Ghost Dad or something.
Yeah.
Is it me, or should Wild Wild West have 5 more movies?
Yeah, right. Yo, right. Okay. Then I wish Brett was here for this, man. Okay. Why do Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo get criticism for lack of content with first-party games, but Valve doesn't? With all of Valve's money, why don't they do more games? In Valve's hands-off approach is Valve's hands-off approach with everything hurting them? I hope other storefronts come for them so they make games like Half-Life 3, Portal 3, Left 4 Dead 3, and not make them free to play. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Haven't we discussed this before? Like, we've always said, like, what the hell's up with Valve? Whatever. They make too much money off Steam.
Yeah.
Steam is a cash cow.
Yeah.
And now that they have some competition, now that there's Epic Game Store, GOG came along, but Epic Game Store seems like that's the biggest competitor to Steam, where they're getting exclusives and all that. So, but will that make Valve go back to being like, oh yeah, we should make games? I don't know.
Yeah. But basically, people have been calling out Valve on this for years, but they couldn't hear them over the sound of money. You know, they didn't care. They were making money hand over fist because of Steam. But yeah, you're right about that, Chris. Like, what if now they decide, oh shit, we need to do something? You know, it's interesting. Yeah. But yeah, Valve doesn't give a fuck. They make too much money. They do not care.
I think that's the key. Like, why nobody's ever giving Valve any of those sorts of things is because there's so much coming out on Steam in general that people are not really paying attention to exactly what Valve is developing or not developing.
I just thought about something. There may be people that even know Valve made games.
Yeah, there is. I mean,
Probably.
Steam has been around long enough where people don't even really know, probably don't even know that they make games anymore.
Yeah.
And to be
Go
honest,
ahead.
to
Yeah.
be honest, to be honest, they kind of don't need to make any.
They
sort
don't
of
need to. They
game.
make too much money selling other people's games.
Yeah,
Let's just be real. You know, so it's not hurting them. They're doing perfectly fine. You know?
yeah. Which is so. But the sad part of it is that there is that arm of the company that people really enjoy. That they really enjoyed the games that they actually specifically develop, which kind of stinks.
If Valve ever announces Half-Life 3, you know they're in deep shit.
Oh shit! Yeah, right.
Yeah, all of a sudden, it'll be like it'll be like the year of threes. It'll be like Portal 3, Half-Life 3,
Team Fortress 3, Dota 3.
Dota 3,
Man.
Team Fortress 3.
They don't know how to count to 3. Half-Life Episode 3. You know.
Yeah, so it's like, and the reason why they don't get as much criticism is because they are in the PC space. Like the other three that was mentioned are console makers, and in consoles, there's a lot more sort of more weight when it comes to exclusives, because that's what separates. I guess that's what validates for some people the purchases for their systems. When you have a PC, you have access to every game. You just need a different application. So it's not the same correlation when it comes to exclusives, because in PC land, there aren't really that many exclusives. Like the only exclusives that people have is either can play it on your PC or you can't with the specs that you have. But that's about it.
Yeah. Glorious War says, yet Xbox gets criticism for not having games. But what? Okay. Or they're not selling you games as well. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a storefront. I know they have Windows and all that, but I'm talking about Xbox specifically. That you got to factor. You can't just see Valve as a game developer like the other guys. They're on a whole different spectrum.
If you because they don't have officially, if selling games was all that Microsoft was doing officially, then I would say they would also receive the same sort of thing. Be like, okay, they just have the storefront.
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
think that was if it was a situation like that, yes, people wouldn't say anything. But because they have a console, because they have this whole ecosystem, because they have an Xbox Live, they have all this stuff that's connected to their stuff, to their to their world or whatever ecosystem. I think that's why everybody people are more critical about saying, hey, they don't have any sort of games. Because I mean, to be honest, if you think about it, if you want to talk exclusives, there are a lot of exclusives on PC, games that never touch the console space.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
you can't complain that they don't have exclusives, because there's like literally thousands of exclusive games on.
You may not like those exclusives, but they still exist.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that get ported over to Switch every month and every week.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, any thoughts, Brian? What are your thoughts on Valve?
You guys said them all. Valve just make too much money. Like Valve don't need to make games because they sell other people's games and make the money there. So I think for them, making games is more what's the word? It's a lower return on interest. Sorry, return on investment. So hence, there's no point.
Yeah,
It financially makes no sense for them to make games. They lose money. So why would they?
Yeah,
Which is a shame. Because again, they have made some of the greatest games, but now it's like, hey, they sell your games, so hence they don't need to make more games. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, pretty much. By the way, that's also the reason Rockstar doesn't release as many games. They make too much money. They don't care. They take their time,
Shit, they take their time on the online systems of games that already come out.
Damn. They don't exactly. They don't care. They're counting their money.
Remember we had a discussion about when do you guys think that the Red Dead Redemption Online would come out?
Yeah, I remember that.
We're fucking March, man.
I thought the show would have been ready by December. It's like, come on, son. Now I don't care.
Yeah, no, I don't care either. I gave him till March. I said March, maybe it'll be ready, but it still isn't.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be ready before Division 2, and it's not. So that's it.
That's a good point. It's like if the shit drops tomorrow, it's like, too bad. We're playing Division right now, baby.
Division, man. Playing with all day digital.
All day. Yay. All right, what is this? Let me read some of these comments. But panel, the same can be said for Sony and Microsoft. They make too much money. Not as much as Valve. Microsoft obviously makes more than Valve, but you know, the Xbox division and PlayStation, they don't make as much money as Valve, son. And they don't have third-party storefronts like that, you know? Like, it's linked specifically to their consoles, whereas Valve is on, you know, PC, which is everywhere. You know, it's you cannot equate Valve, you know, on the same level as Sony and Xbox. You really cannot.
Well,
you know?
to be fair, Microsoft does have PCs have the Microsoft store.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, but it wasn't the same. It didn't have the same catalog of games.
Yeah,
Never did.
It's like slowly going towards that now, especially with Game Pass and stuff like that.
Yeah, so maybe they'll be more, you know, comparable like in a couple of years, you know. But Valve is, again, they're on another level right now, man. It's not even comparable, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it, man. Unless you guys want to say anything. Yeah, this is a show made for you guys, man. You know, if you run out of questions, we run out of show.
Yeah.
Adam, you gonna say something?
Yeah, it's only a question, and yeah, it's out of the gaming world, but this is the only time it'll ever come up. Did Black Metal? Did you see Lords of Chaos, and what did you think?
Yeah,
So
you
now we
guys
can
talk
just talk about
afterwards.
stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
I think I saw that.
Did you watch it? Come on, man, you got to see that.
Is it
It's
in the Happy
about
Place?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the
okay, I
one
gotta
about
watch No, I know. I saw it on YouTube. I had it for save later. But if it's in the Happy Place, I'll go to the Happy Place.
Yeah,
Is Captain Marvel in the Happy Place?
not yet.
Too early for that, man.
You have failed us.
I failed you.
Oh man, no, Glorious War. I know the majority of third-party games still on console, but Steam has way more fucking games than consoles do, bro. Way more.
Yeah.
You know,
Steam is ridiculous.
yeah, Steam is on a whole other level, man. It shits on PSN and Xbox.
You know what's funny though? It's that they have all these sales all the time, right, on Steam, and we're like, man, if only consoles could do that. And the Switch does it. I'm telling you, there's a page I follow on Reddit just shows just Switch deals, and just today it was like 3 more deals. They're constantly putting games on sale, and I think it's really up to just developers. It's not like a schedule anymore. It's like, hey, if you ever want to drop the price of any of your games, just do it. Here, click this button, and then it happens. Because you know, we know with PlayStation and Microsoft is Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but on Switch is every day.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. All right, bring up our little graphic here. Oh God! All right, so if you want to ask us questions for episodes of Throwdown Your Questions, here are the rules. All right, step 1, you join our Discord. Very important that you join our Discord. Step 2, on Discord, go to the Throwdown Your Questions section, and step 3, submit your questions. Limit them to 2 per person. Again, I'm very, very happy with you guys for taking it up so readily. You know, I was afraid, are people going to migrate? Literally, we were getting questions before we made the official announcement, so it's good. But at the same time, if you still want to leave us questions over on YouTube, you can too. I'm just not advertising that, but I'm very happy with you guys going over on the Discord. And you should join Discord anyway. There's a lot of really good conversations that we have on there, you know, deep shit, you know, and there's always some regulars in there. It's good stuff. I'm always lurking in there. You know, Adam, that's the word now, man, lurking.
Lurk.
Actually, I'm not really lurking. I'm actually actively talking to motherfuckers, you know. But it's crazy, man. So yeah, thank you for watching and listening. Leave us your questions in the Throwdown Discord, and we'll answer them on next week's show. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and joined by Emilio Lopez.
That's what's going on the streets. Doing your taxes. Later, guys.
Oh, did you hear about what's it?
Hold up,
Is
man.
it
I'm doing
H&R
outro,
Block?
motherfucker.
Wait, no, it's game related.
Okay.
Wait, it's real quick because it's H&R Block. Is like, what is it? If you file your taxes, you get a free copy of Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Half-Life 3, man. Fuck.
No, you get Black Ops 4.
Man, I don't want that shit. All right.
I'm like, what a weird merger.
Yeah, that is weird, though. Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Jesus.
Adam Vale.
Have a good week, people.
And Brian Manjoma.
More like Captain Mar. No, sorry.
Captain Melville.
Captain Melville.
All right, man. We'll see you on Thursday, man. Oh, by the way, actually, hold up. A little bit of an announcement to make.
Excuse me?
Because me and Carlos, we're supposed to be playing some Halo 2. We ain't doing that. We're playing some motherfucking Division this week, man. Get ready, man. Get hyped, you know? Get Big Mike. We had to get him in. Yo, Big Mike, you good, son?
Yo, Mike, you good?
Oh, man. So, yeah, look forward to that Division. Me, Adam, Carlos, all day, you know? And, you know, other people. It's going to be crazy, man. Going to be killing people just because.
Who are these people?
Who are these people? All right, man. Later.
Later, guys.
Peace.
Later.